from Bates Nursery and Garden Center, just north of Briley Parkway on Whites Creek Pike and worth the drive from anywhere. It's the At Home Show, answering your questions about your home, your garden, and your projects. Now for two gentlemen best known for pioneering the concept of social distancing. Josh Cary and David Bates.
Oh yeah, everybody knows what that music means. It's now time to climb a tree. Don your loincloth, your red, white, and blue loincloth this morning, and survey the backyard, because you've got to find a project. You've got to lay it in the unmarked grave of history, because it's going to be a party tonight, I think, somewhere. We're going to be shooting off some fireworks, eating some barbecued stuff, whatever it is that you want to eat on this day, because it's Saturday morning. And even though it is the 4th of July, David Bates, the At Home Show is coming to you alive here.
That's right. Got the red, white, and blue,
the banner
fanning in the wind behind us this morning.
That
and,
breeze feels good in here, too.
It really does feel good. And it's actually going to be a pretty nice day today. So
it's going to be a little warm.
Well,
today,
you know, I would say it's typical for July 4th. And here's what we've got coming up here. So I don't know how I got something playing here.
Okay,
so
you notice that David is actually running monodextrous.
Yes,
today.
and well, this is not just my attempt to do the Pledge of Allegiance continuously. I had hand surgery again this week, so trying to get through that. But let's first of all look at the weather. Of course, today is Saturday. It's going to be a mostly sunny day today. High near 94 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have just a few clouds, but overall, it's just going to be a pretty warm, seasonably warm day. Low overnight, 73 degrees. Tomorrow, not quite as warm, but there's an increasing chance of thunderstorms. Depending on where you are, you might get a half inch. You might not get anything, because that's just the way it works this time of year. 94 the high, 73 for the overnight low. Monday, again, partly cloudy conditions, 91, 72. Looks like there is a chance of scattered thunderstorms both Tuesday and Wednesday. Again, depending on where you are, there's a chance somewhere every single day, all day long. And as we roll through the end of the week, back to partly cloudy conditions and lows high, I should say, in the mid to lower 90s and lows in the lower to mid 70s. And currently here at Bates Nursery, it's 70 degrees.
David Bates, look to my left.
Okay.
Who do you see there to my left, David Bates?
I see Christopher Ladd.
The one, the only, the legend, the icon.
The award-winning producer of the At Home
Show.
The
original award-winning producer. Of
well, yeah, if it were it not for Chris, we would never have received the Air Award that we did receive back in, I think it was 2006.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Chris.
You know, it's been 18 years since I've known you guys. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
Yes.
And but none of us look a day older.
Exactly.
A decade or two, perhaps, but not a day.
No.
Not a day.
All righty, folks, 615-499-6690. If you have not done your homework and you didn't call us during the week, because you didn't get a reminder this week that you need to send us a picture of something that you're working on. You can text something to us if you need to. You can just comment at the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates Facebook page.
Right.
Go ahead, please do that. Share the broadcast, because we're trying to grow the business here. And by the way, folks, if you're out there and you want to have this content on your medium, we can be contacted at that same number during the week, and everything we'll come up with something for you. Yeah. I mean, if you want to try to sell something on the At Home Show, we're pretty good at that, David.
Yeah, maybe you just want to talk about what it is you do. You know, we're looking for we're always looking
products,
for interesting
services,
things to
programming. Programming, as it were. It is the 4th of July. If you're going to be burning money up in the sky, that's fine. If you're going to be making a lot of noise, please keep in mind that there are a lot of canines, particularly in the 37167 zip code, that really don't like loud noises, okay? And it makes them very nervous, and it makes them go in the closet, and it makes them get really anxious. So.
Well, I don't know whether, of course, there won't be the municipal displays of fireworks as we have had in the past, because the last thing you need to do during a pandemic is to attract a crowd. However, there will likely be many more individual displays.
Yes.
many more.
Okay.
If what I have heard from fireworks sales, they are all breaking every record that they ever had.
Keep in mind, folks, those are explosive devices. Yes.
Accidents can happen.
Yes, they do.
And if you are going to be the responsible party and you're going to handle those explosive things, don't drink.
Designated fire person.
It's
yes.
there's a time and a place for everything, and when you're
Hold
handling,
my beer is not today. Okay, I mean it's not because you
If you're
eyes, fingers. Look at David. He didn't.
well, this was neither fireworks nor drinking involved. This was just an accident that happened, but accidents do happen. So give yourself the very
Now,
best.
how could you hold your Roman candle for a Roman candle battle, which we do not advocate.
Currently, I would not.
No,
I wouldn't even attempt to.
bottle rocket battles, not a good idea.
And look at NFL player Jason Pierre-Paul, who messed up his hand.
Yes.
Okay,
This is a professional football player making millions of dollars who did this a couple years ago.
and
But he, fortunately for him, he has managed to recover pretty well from it.
He
He
has.
still has had a good career, but I'm sure that he's
he
had a lot of
just
regret
can't quite
about that.
grab Patrick Mahomes with the same authority as he once did. All right, 615.
But nor can anyone else,
Nobody can
would
catch
seem.
it. 615-499-6690. It's a free format today. We've got a lot of beautiful foliage here in the green room.
I did my
and
best effort to put out the red, white, and blue theme. We've got it here on the right side with the red, white, and blue being
That's actually stage left.
well, right of the camera. For people who are watching, it will be to the right side. So with that reddish purple looking thing, which is the closest thing to red I could come up with, was a purple smoke tree, or royal purple. And then Annabelle hydrangea next, and then a Fat Albert blue spruce. So red, white, and blue right there. Over here on the left side, very directly opposite, we've got anthuriums, which are tropicals. On the right, we've got spathiphyllum, also known as
You got a what?
spathiphyllum,
Spa.
or prayer plant, or white flag. Some people, there's all manner of common names for it. Down below, and then I really couldn't find a tropical blue thing, so I just had to go with blue star juniper down there in front.
That works.
But there's my red, white, and blue. Also, since we have so many tropicals, we just actually late yesterday afternoon got a bunch more in. I thought I'd throw a few tropicals in. I've got a fan palm here behind me, and a split leaf philodendron directly in front, and a variegated dracaena right in front as well, right in front of Josh there. And one final thing, although it's not amber waves of grain, but this is ember waves arborvita. So that's my little theme, ember waves arborvita, which turns really a brilliant gold in the winter.
Goodness.
It is a green giant arborvita cultivar that turns very gold in the winter season.
Now, this fan palm behind you, folks, you can't see it because even with the Mevo camera, you cannot see the details. That thing, what looks like it would bite.
Not really, not too bad. Now, if you ran your hand backwards down the splines
It's got
of the stem,
thorns, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you don't. It's what you call anti-cat mechanisms, I guess. I don't know if it keeps any animal off of it, but like many palms, particularly most fan palms, all have those spines.
Do they really?
Yeah, they all have it on there. You just might not have noticed before. The light really accentuates it. But
Makes them look like
run your
teeth.
hand down there
No, that's okay.
one time, and
I'm good.
you'll be convinced.
That's a hard no.
Okay.
That's a hard no. All right.
615-499-6690.
Okay.
That's the number to call in.
Yeah.
Leave a message with us. You know, I write a weekly newsletter every week. And this week, my contention is that we all have a story. And I think we all do. There's
Some of them are true.
I have never allowed the truth to get in the way of a good story. You know, there are details that are accurate. There are details that require refinement. Some
Embellishment.
colorful embellishment, perhaps. So I would invite someone to share a story with us. Leave us a message, put a story out there, and we'll play that story over there. As we like to remind you, keep it clean because we're gonna put it out there on the airwaves. But we'd love to hear a quick little story, a minute, 2-minute story.
Even if you
about-
want to tell a dirty joke, you can leave it on the voicemail.
well,
but we may or may not play it. But
you know.
we appreciate a good blue joke every now and then
Yeah,
ourselves.
well, we'll see. I don't know if Chris has got time.
What is up with Josh trying to ruin everything?
Yeah, I'm trying to keep it clean, and he's encouraging the blue side. So.
Well, it's in the theme
He's
of the
trying to
red,
make-
white, and the blue. We'll go to the blue side today.
I bet Diane always is like, Josh never grows up.
I bet you Diana's eyes get an extreme amount of exercise for always rolling them.
No, that's the daughters.
Oh.
That's the daughters. No. All right, 615-499-6690. Hey, it's going to be freeform Saturday on the 4th of July.
35 years ago today,
Mm-hmm.
my bride-to-be and I were in Honolulu, Hawaii, awaiting our marriage. We actually got married on the 9th of July, and today is the 4th of July.
Okay.
And the reason we got married at the end of our honeymoon was that's
You had
when
to quarantine yourself. Right?
that's when we had our friends were available.
Oh.
Alan Belu, my dear departed friends
See.
from Hawaii, who put our wedding on for us. Just dear friends that I can't say enough good things about, but they put on our wedding for us. We got married by a Hawaiian minister in their in the gardens of their condominium, Waipuna Gardens, and with the big koi ponds and all that. It was really lovely. And they took us out for dinner in a limo afterwards. It was really wonderful.
That was 45 years ago?
35.
Oh, okay.
35. I know I may look it, but Renee doesn't, and that's
No.
the good news.
No, she doesn't.
So yes,
You've got the count correct.
So
you're
we're
sure?
yes.
made him
no,
look. Made him
no,
look.
no.
Okay.
I'm quite sure of that. Matter of fact, I remember looking at an article that I wrote a decade ago regarding our 25th anniversary. You know, I write a weekly newsletter column, and so I, from time to time, peruse back through those just to see what kind of subject matter I have covered, and trying to either give me a reminder of something that's worthwhile revisiting, or something that I perhaps have talked about enough and maybe don't need to visit. So, but I did see that.
Waxing philosophic. As
Well,
it were.
our 25th anniversary. as I
Yearning for the old days.
Our 25th anniversary, I recall, we had to cancel our trip. We were going on an Alaska cruise, but that was that was the summer following May of 2010, which is when we had the big flood, and it was a lot of recovering, of trying to keep things going at that point. So it wasn't a good time to go. So we still haven't been to Alaska yet, but we're working on trying to get there one of these days.
All righty, folks, 615-499-6690. You know, if you want to tell us things about yourself, we'll be glad to do that. Like, David Bates, what was the very first cassette tape that you ever owned in your life?
Cassette?
Cassette
I say I don't think that's really dating enough. I don't know if you would be 8-track would be the way you'd want to go with that.
78s?
45.
45.
I had 78s. I had some old 78 records that were the size of a 45. That's how old they were. And so I can remember putting those on my little record player as a kid that I used to. We didn't have, this had the ability to just take a straight pen or a needle and unscrew the little screw and pass a pen through it and tighten it up to use as the stylus.
Wow.
So I guess that's where my the beginnings of my mechanical inclinations started. So I can't remember the name of those, but let it suffice to say it. I do remember getting to play with the device, and that was also one of the first things I ever took apart. Was my record player.
So, young lad, what was your very first cassette tape that you ever owned?
Well, I mentioned this on Facebook earlier in the week.
Did you really?
I feel like you stole this from me.
Perhaps.
The little bunny foo-foo. The little bunny foo-foo hopping through the forest,
Finding all the field mice and doing what to them?
hopping 'em on the head.
Oh my goodness gracious!
That
What-
was the first cassette tape I owned. But the
how
real
many times did your mother and father hear that?
a million.
Uh-huh.
I used to play that song on like repeat all the time.
And-
Rewind.
And it's permanently burned in where you can't make it go away. If
No,
you
no,
couldn't
no.
possibly forget
No,
it.
I haven't heard that song in 30 years until you just,
The Little Bunny Foo-Foo.
yeah.
Okay, it's a classic. Man.
My first ever cassette tape was Guns N' Roses.
Oh,
And my grandma, she thought it was like the devil music playing, so we couldn't listen to it when grandma was around.
oh my goodness! Was it Use Your Illusion?
Appetite for Destruction.
Oh, even better. Oh, it was a little after you, I think. Yeah.
Well, I won't forget the time when my 12-year-old son, Jason, came to me with a revelation one morning. He goes, "Dad, you got to hear what I just heard." I says, "What?" He says, "The song's called Freebird." I go, "Yeah, I've heard that one a couple times. I've actually seen them play a number of times." So yes, back in the day and this is talk about a vague memory for a whole bunch of people.
Yes.
As a nightclub called Mother's that was on Lebanon Road, and it was one of those places that it couldn't last because it was just a little over the edge, and I was right there in the thick of it back in the day.
615-499-6690. We're going to attempt to get we've received a text and some images, and we're going to get to that here in a minute once I can get to where we can share to the big screen here. But let's see who actually sent that. Chris, did you tell me? Oh, it's Rudy and Helen from Wakanda, Illinois. I see it down here at the bottom. They've cutting away some shoots of the bottom of a box elder tree, and they've discovered a fairly large hole at the base, David.
Probably a raccoon, could be a possum, but or a groundhog. They might call them woodchuck in that part of the country, or I don't think they call them marmots up there, but they're all essentially the same thing.
Well, it's a box elder, so they
But
tend
there's
to.
a hole.
Yeah.
Is there a hole in the ground? Is that what they're
No,
saying?
no. It's in the base of the tree.
No,
we'll get
well,
it
it's
up here
certainly
in a
not
second.
a groundhog burrowing in the tree. I thought you meant under the tree.
Might be a beaver. We never know, but
The beavers would probably be taking it down.
it provides shade for the deck and in the afternoon sun, and they
well-
hate to lose it. But folks, we had a box elder at our house, and they really like to get hollow. And
They're not a good long-term tree. They do grow rather quickly. They have a short lifespan. So if you're
They put out
depending
an
on that,
immense amount of pollen in the spring.
if
too.
you're depending on that for long-term shade, you have your dependence poorly placed because it's not going to hold up, unfortunately. You might get a decade out of it. Now, I don't know about in Wisconsin, but here they come up wild just everywhere. So I've never heard, and chances are yours did the same. But it would be worthwhile thinking about planting something else a bit further out that has more longevity to it. And even if you want something that is decidedly,
it's gorgeous.
it has nice foliage on it. But you might want to consider something like a red maple cultivar. I'm talking about like Acer rubrum, like a regular, or an October Glory red maple, or Autumn Flame red maple. Those are all fast growers. That would give you a nice fall color, but they're going to be a much longer living tree than a box elder will, which is just not going to give you that much. Go ahead and get that planted now and give yourself some time to get it growing so that when you lose this one, and it sounds like you're going to, you'll already be a little bit head started on that process.
Well, it is one of those things in nature that they're going to grow up. It's a gorgeous tree. We'll see it here in just a second if I've gotten the save things going on here and the sending things going on here. Yes, I'll send it without a subject. That's okay. We're learning here. I got a new toy last week. I got a connection so I can actually do this. And David, running monodextrous today. We're going to try to do this.
Yeah, it's I've got
live and learn.
half
Hey,
a
it's
brain
free
and
for-
half a hand, so it's
free form Saturday morning. You know what I mean? It's a holiday. Everybody's off and everybody's having a good time, and We're going to try to get your projects done early. But here is the tree in context. If we will go to input number
I'll get that 3 for you.
3, if you would go to input 3, and we'll bring this one up. Don't get my email address there. Hold on. We'll bring it.
And you got something playing in the background there also, Josh. You're as bad as I am.
I
about
know
that.
it. Come on, folks.
Are you still good to go?
I think we're good to go. Let's maximize this here.
Well, I'm going to put it back on this screen for just a second. You tell me when you're ready.
Let's try that in context there.
Okay, so let's go here. All right.
In context. I see why you want to save it. I really do. It's gorgeous. So, but if you've gotten, I'm muted everywhere that I see. So,
there you go. Now you got it.
I muted it, man. I tell you, I muted it. That's okay. But we have it in context on the other side.
Every time you do that, it turns it back on. Why don't you close that window?
What window?
The window that's talking to you.
That window's closed. So
I'm about the window on your computer.
Okay.
We don't need to hear me talking from last week on here.
I don't know what's going on here, but
See, folks, this is what we had to put up with every week.
It's what you call live broadcast.
okay. There's our hole. Okay, it is a big hole.
No, that actually could have a varmint living in there. That is, you're looking at that. Please turn me off, Josh.
I've not heard too many people say that, David. But
a good 6-inch opening. There's no reason why a groundhog or a raccoon or any number of different of nature's finest could get in there and be burrowing, and certainly that's not adding to the health of the plant, but neither does it necessarily mean it's detrimental to it. I think I would
leave it alone and watch it and see what happens.
Yeah, and do what I've suggested and plant some other trees out there further out and let them have some time to start growing so that you can get your screen up there before you lose this one. And it may still be a number of years yet. So you've got this, you've been given a warning by Mother Nature. This is, hey.
Rule in somebody's toolbox as well. That's
Absolutely.
Very neat. A very accurate way of measuring stuff. 615-499-6690.
I can't tell if it has a little brass slider on the end of it, which is on the opposite side of whether it does or it doesn't.
It does appear that it may. So, but that's a cool tool to have one around and get you out of a bind, because if you really need a tight measurement that doesn't have any variance on the end of a tape measure, you notice there's always a little wiggle room around the end of a tape measure, Chris. Okay.
Hey, let's talk just for a minute about Bates Nursery and Garden Center. Number one today is Independence Day, July 4th. We are closed today. We're not going to be open today at all. Our newsletter comes out on Thursdays, and those of you who received it, quite a lot of you acted upon that because we had free vegetable plants.
Free stuff.
We had 6 benches of free vegetable plants, mostly hot peppers and tomatoes. There were some herbs also. We went through probably 90%, maybe 95% of those. So that is to say there are a few tomatoes left for Monday morning. So if you want to come in Monday early, you still got a chance to get some free tomatoes. Now, in addition to that, we have extended for another week 10% off everything. But those are in-store only. Those are not online discounts. You have to come in the store to be able to get that. So come out and see us at Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where that we have everything you're looking for your lawn and your landscape, be it shade trees or ground covers or annual color, fruiting plants, ornamental grasses, which are really coming to their they're really coming to their own this time of year. Tropical plants, we have a huge assortment of that, and of course we are essentially back to the 70s. We've not seen tropical plants be so wanted since the early 70s. They're really having a resurgence. So we'll promise to not disappoint you in that regard. Make sure you come see what all we've got there. And, of course, containers and the best soils and amendments on the planet, Earth Mix Garden Products. So come out and see us. On Monday, we're open at 9 a.m., open till 4 p.m., Monday through Saturday. Bates Nursery and Garden Center, where we've been proudly serving the Middle Tennessee area since 1932. My grandmother started my company business.
Oh, my goodness.
So or was appreciative of, as we referred to her as Nanny.
Nanny Bates.
That was.
She used to make this fertilizer too. You've told this story in the past where she had this mix that she used to do in a barrel.
Well, back in 1932, there was no commercial fertilizer. You couldn't go out and buy a bag of fertilizer. It didn't exist. So she had a big. I'm going to guess it was like a whiskey barrel with the end knocked out of it, so that you could fill with water. But before you filled it with water, you filled it with manure. Dry manure, and then you fill it with water.
What kind of manure?
I'm going to guess
whatever
was
available.
Yeah, probably cow. I would hope it would have been cow manure, simply because cow manure, when it reaches the exit point, it's more fully composted than horse manure is, because a cow has 4 stomachs.
So it's more processed.
It's more processed already, but she would fill that full of dry manure and then fill that full of water and then take a big stick and churn it. And now you can imagine how
somebody's stirring their coffee right now.
Yeah, well, that's the way it was done. Then they would take that brine and water the geraniums and dahlias, all the things that she grew back in the day, right over on 26th in Charlotte here in town. So now there is, I think there is a Tennessee orthopedic clinic over there. It was the site of the Nashville Cats.
Chris, you've hit a button somewhere.
I did not.
Hey, we've got music. Hey, it wasn't kind of a touchy-feely moment. Okay. Somehow that's getting piped in there.
I'm going to shut everything down because it's not coming from mine.
I don't think it's coming from me either. I don't have any.
What we're going to talk about this morning is a little bit different.
Oh, you've hit it.
Usually think about as you're doing your daily jobs and things like that.
Wow.
Well, we've just got things.
Twilight Zone 2020.
Something went wrong. We've got.
Everybody lives, right? I mean, you all probably been live.
Okay, let's try this. Let's try. See if this is part of the problem. Did that get rid of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. We're obviously
we have not
we
had-
specialize in professionalism.
Oh, okay.
Today's not been it.
It has not been
I'm
it.
sitting over here looking at the board, and I'm like, there's nothing.
I've got to remember. See, there's what was coming up on my. Somebody talking in the background. When you have a YouTube thing set up there, I had the flag waving on it earlier, and it finally played through.
Well,
And
YouTube
moved
may,
on to
5
whatever
minutes.
came after the flag. So I don't know who that was.
or
but
YouTube may ban us for that, but that's okay. 615-499-6690. See, the Yard Boys out there listening. Alita is wondering about your surgery. So, I mean, you had to go back and get reworked and
Yes,
had the finger get going.
We're, here's what I can best say is that I had it repaired, and then it got broken
Uh-huh.
a week after I had it repaired. So then I had to go back and have it redone, and and it may even require a third surgery.
Oh, no.
So,
Okay.
I'm just trying to,
Muscle through
just
it.
trying to live life on life's terms. It's not what I had planned at all, but this is the reality I get to deal with. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just trying to do what I can to make sure that it stays in as good a shape as possible. So that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that this is the last surgery, but you never know.
All right. Well, our good friend Corey Smith, the Yard Boy, he's got a special event going down there on the square in Petersburg. That's right there, by Famous Phil's Corn Liquor still.
And what may that special event be?
Well,
Josh?
they're having a 4th of July party down there this afternoon and this evening.
Does it involve possums or anything?
Well, I do understand that he did get the Storm Possums endorsement. So, I mean, that's a coveted endorsement because he's running for the
They don't
Alderman.
just give that away.
No, they don't. But there's a benefit going for the Petersburg Public Library, and he has a dunking booth out there that he will be sitting
And
in.
they're not dunking like donuts. This is dunking like people.
Well, if he had any more donuts, he'd have to put some more. He'd have to take some water out of the.
Oh, that's that picture you've got up on our Facebook page
Yes,
of
I do.
him in the dunking booth.
That looks like a dry run for the dunking booth.
Our dry runs. That's not fair to do a dry run. You should only do, live runs.
Well, but the proceeds for the dunking booth where you could dunk the yard boy are all going to the public library there, which is a good thing.
That is a very good cause.
Mhm.
And also, the yard boy has a special anniversary today.
He does.
He's been married to his wife, Bridget,
This-
for 17 years, I think.
He has more than one wife.
Well,
His wife Bridget, we do know that.
Okay, we know that there's at least a Bridget, but that's good. Congratulations, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and hope you have some good fun down there.
There we have him.
There we have him.
Poised in the dunking booth, and that's a tight shot of him right there.
Oh,
Just
my
coming
goodness.
out, looks like he's slightly,
Moist.
little bit. So I don't think those are dry runs. I think those were actual
Tests.
tests. So anyway, go out there and I'm sure that the money's being raised for a good cause.
If you see,
He needs a bath at the very least. He needs a bath. So go out there and make sure he gets bathed properly.
Can you imagine what that water's going to smell like after about sitting in that bucket for all day long?
I have no idea. And I believe somebody who is a really good pitcher who could maybe throw a downward curve could clip the top of his head behind that. And, it looks like his head, maybe it's just a optical
Now, you
illusion.
don't throw at the head, okay?
Well,
Not-
I'm just saying you could. I'm not suggesting that you should.
Only that John Hulu person.
I'm just saying
whoever
it
that
looks like
happens to be.
it just looks to me like that an errant pitch could
You
somehow.
can go out there and see this at the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates Facebook page, and but the rumors of certain former Panthers up for a trip to Petersburg. We cannot confirm nor deny that. Is this Mr. Smith?
How you doing, sir?
Are you having fun this morning, Corey?
Well, let's just say dry runs on a dunking tank hurt.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. On a
That
hot
hurts.
July day, it's really a fairly pleasant experience going down to the tank.
The practice does work better when the tank actually has water in it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I want to say a big thank you to the Lincoln County Volunteer Fire Department here in Petersburg for filling that up for us this morning and getting that ready to go.
Now, whose water bill is that going to go on? And can you pay that in coins? Because I understand there's a coin shortage. So I mean that may be a problem there at City Hall, right?
Sir, you know very well that the loose change ordinance was passed 2 years ago, and that is punishable as a misdemeanor if you bring too much loose change into the town of Petersburg.
Yeah, but the fine
So,
can't be paid on the loose change but anything but currency, right? So
That's correct.
but you get
And then you're limited to how many single bills you can bring in here as well too, and no $100 bills. Those are outlawed as well.
So you've got to stay between $50 and
below.
above a dollar or above.
It makes my head hurt to try to figure it out, and I don't even have time for that today.
Now, did I have the charity right? All the proceeds are going to your library there in Petersburg.
That's correct. 100% of what is collected at the Duncan booth today will go to the Petersburg Library.
Now, will
100%.
not you are not responsible for solely absorbing all of the dunkings. There are other participants, are there not?
Well, so far, no one else has stepped up. So
No,
right now,
do you mean to
looks
tell
like
me
it's
that
gonna be me.
Lois has not stepped up to the plate to do this?
Well, there's certain things in life that float, and
Careful.
What about the young mayor, Logan Jolly? What about him? Is he going to be in the booth?
Well, if we can get his arm floaties and his goggles, I think we can get him in there.
Well, you have the safety
But you can
first,
never
Corey.
you can never be too careful. I mean,
That's right.
accidents do happen. I'm proof of that.
Now, Corey, are you going to issue any challenges? Because, as all these proceeds, 100% of the money collected goes to the library there. I think it would be a great thing to have a challenge or two tossed out there to some of your citizens there of the fine town of Petersburg. Is there anyone in particular that you would like to challenge for the dunking booth?
Well, of course, my write-in opponent, current incumbent Mayor Jolly, he's welcome to get up there and take a few shots. And again, all those proceeds will go. Matter of fact, I'll match those proceeds up to $50 of people that step up to throw at Mayor Jolly in the dunking tank.
Okay.
How about that one?
Now, there's a citizen that you there's a John Hulu there that I think a lot of folks
Oh,
would
that's
like.
correct too. Yes, and I will say this: if John Hulu, if you're listening, or if anyone that knows John Hulu, if you want to get in the Dunkin' booth, I'll pay $100 for you to get in the Dunkin' booth today at Petersburg. How about that one?
Now that's above and beyond your participation as the main target of the dunkers out there in the world.
Yes.
Okay.
The donations, you still got to pay to dunk John Hulu, but I'll throw $100 in the pot to get him up there.
Well, that should be incentive enough, particularly on a hot 4th of July day. Yes, absolutely.
Who wouldn't want to get dunked on a 95-degree day sitting on a slab of concrete in the full sun?
It's hardly punishment.
No, hardly.
No.
And let me say this too, for anybody out there that says, well, I can't really throw straight. We actually have 3 levels that you can do. You have the standard softball size ball that you can throw. We're going to have, or if you want to step up a little bit, pay a little more, you can throw a basketball at it. And if you want to pay a little bit, more than that, you can just walk up and hit the target with your hand.
Oh my goodness!
We have 3 levels.
Let me ask you this: do you have the best dunking machines I've seen, or guys who have a microphone right there who can just really? There's some very gifted hecklers that really bring it on. I'm sure that you have that gift. Are you utilizing those resources? Is what I want to know.
Well, David Bates, you and Josh and Round Mound have known me long enough to know I am my own PA system. I do not need a microphone.
Well,
so,
reach out and touch somebody. Well, good luck with it, Corey. And again, you got the fireworks down there in Petersburg tonight?
We're working on getting some fireworks lined up for later this evening.
Okay.
Y'all come on down. We've got a flea market going on the square that's already started about an hour ago. I'm out doing some work this morning, but I'm going to be in around the greater metropolitan area all day. But the actual festivities, we're going to have a bicycle and whatever scooter parade that starts at 5 o'clock. There's going to be plenty of food on the square. I don't know what all is going on. We're going to have a karaoke going on, and of course the Dunkin' booth. So y'all come on, come down and see what's going on with the flea market, and then the real festivities, everything. We'll kick that off somewhere around 5 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh, and it's really good and hot. So I mean, get a couple of bags of ice to have them in the cooler there, so you can throw it in that.
All
nice
right, Yard Boy.
water.
Thanks for calling in this morning, and you have a safe and happy Independence Day.
Y'all too. Now keep it straight up there.
Now keep strapping them, bud. All right, that's our good friend Corey Smith, and again, that's a good thing. There's lots of stuff going on around these small communities. Even though Davidson County is not got the fireworks, the Metropolitan Bash was put on hold. They can go to, I think Lebanon had theirs. There been several things. Again, noticed that our good friend Stephen Pippin, there was some fireworks shot in Brentwood, Tennessee, and Murfreesboro is going to have some last night as well. But
when I was driving in at 4 this morning, I saw fireworks being shot over in West Nashville somewhere.
They just got a really good early start. Okay.
Or I don't know whether that was an early start or they hadn't quite made it to bed yet. But
okay. But folks,
either way works.
Be careful. Animals don't like them. If you're going to shoot the fireworks, and that's up to you. They have fire in there. They do pop.
It's actually in the word itself.
Yes,
fireworks.
Okay, and we don't like to have. We want all the at-homies back for us every Saturday morning or anytime you want to. If you're out there listening, we know it's early on a Saturday morning. It's a holiday day. Share the Facebook page. I mean, share the lead.
And of course, the great thing about the way we do it now is that you can watch it at your convenience whenever it happens to arrive during the week. Not only is it on our Facebook pages, the page for the At Home Show with Josh Cary and David Bates. It's also out there on the Bates Nursery and Garden Center Facebook page, the Earth Mix page. It's also on the Bates Nursery Twitter page where there's about 68,000 followers out there. And last but certainly not least, our own YouTube page. So you've got all those places. You want to subscribe. Yes, subscribe to that. You'll get a little notification when it's ready to go. And it always takes it a while before it's ready. I'm not sure what the deal is there, but apparently YouTube has a lot of – we're not the only video account on YouTube. I did not know that. I mean, there's quite a few others.
Well, the standard has been raised. I mean, the bar has jumped up now that we're out there, David.
Obviously.
We totally surpassed it today.
We did?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I think we had enough technical snafus between Josh
how
and
to
me.
and how not to is the key the way to go.
Well, you know, I have learned yet another little lesson today. Don't leave any playable windows even in the they'll just start playing if you hit the wrong thing. So as much back and forth between screens as I'm doing, I cannot afford to have anything.
He's talking about windows. He's talking about screens. I mean, you're going to talk about hardware next? I mean, come on, man.
Well, you know, there is room to talk about that because that's all in your wheelhouse, in your world. And certainly it's the time of year when people are
closing the windows.
They're closing the windows, and they're thinking a lot more about trying to keep the cool air in
and the bugs out.
So there's some opportunities in the early morning hours. You could probably have the windows open for a bit in the mornings if you're into that, although you're greatly raising the humidity, which is mostly what air conditioners do, is that they do chill the air, but they remove the humidity. So that makes it the perceived temperature makes it feel a lot better.
So the condensation pump in the basement constantly runs.
All that water coming out at the end is what's coming out of the air in your house.
You got the kitty cats that like to sit in the windows. I mean, the grand cats are going home tomorrow. Both of them are going home tomorrow. So we'll be able to close the windows on the mudroom porch where they like to have their morning siesta. Because they have to sleep all night, so they have to get up early so they can take a nap first.
You got to get them in bed early. You can't have your cats worn out when they've got to make a big trip like this. So that I'm a little disconnected when it comes to what all is going on scholastically and what every different facility is doing. So is this a sign that they're going back to school?
No, they've just been visiting for the summer, I guess. You know how grandpas and grandma, I don't know, do they still do that? The kids still get farmed out to the grandmas and the grandpas these days? I mean, they used to be or an aunt and our uncle, so mom and dad could go to the beach or whatever was going on.
A lot of now grandparents are still working.
Well, they have to go to work with them.
Yeah.
Okay, but no, they just been visiting for the past couple months ish. So, but they're going to finally go. One's going to Chattanooga. We're both going to Chattanooga, and then there's going to be a connection from Knoxville to Chattanooga, and one's going to get Palm back off. So.
I see. I know there's a lot of people that
we're going to fill them full of sugar before we send them in the car, though. I mean, it's going to be like M&Ms and orange juice for the kiddies, and we're just going to get them all in there so they can go in the car at the same time.
Yeah, that's ought to make for a nice ride.
Grandparents are good at that kind of stuff.
You know, there's there have never been a time, at least not in my career, and that only spans roughly 50 years, where people have been so into gardening and working in their yards, and that's primarily because, one, I think a lot of people have recognized it's a very good thing to do, but two, there has many of the other activities have been taken away. They are not available. So there may be people out there who are gardening who are perhaps on the neophyte end of the scale. That's not you. You're not a beginner. But
I've never done an above ground garden before.
Well, that doesn't. What I'm alluding to is that we need to spend a little bit of time talking about being safe about working around your yard. And you're gonna, once you've done so many projects and you looked at everything on the ground, then you start looking up and you start seeing those trees. Well, gosh, that limb really ought to go. And I've got this chainsaw right in here, and I could
I've got that 37-year-old wooden ladder.
If I could get up on my step ladder, I could reach up there and cut that limb.
We can just get a piece of rope and tie it around the top of the ladder and tie it around the tree and then hold on to it that way. You know, you can do that.
That's
too.
a recipe for disaster.
Is that, David?
That is indeed a recipe for disaster.
Okay.
So folks should really avoid such things as that. I actually had Lane Tree Service. Jeff Durasett and his sons, they have a great company, by the way. They came out and did some work for me that, you know, in my best thinking would tell me, you know, without an injured hand, that, you know, I should be able to do that. But when I watch them do it, when they have all the right equipment and it's what they're trained to do,
and they've got the proper tool that they can do that ballerina lean out there and take the very tip of that thing.
They've got the boom truck, and they cut it off in pieces. They got the chipper. There's no mess. They get done quickly.
They know
safely.
how to tie the rope off on it to where it's going to pull it down. Yes.
The money that you will spend is money that you're probably saving many times over in possible medical bills, because injury can happen. That's a job really best left to professionals. So I can't encourage folks enough to, if you're going to use your own chainsaw, which you probably rarely use, you need to be using it only standing on the ground, and you need to really reach out and prune things out at the tip. Don't make it all in one cut. Don't try to do that.
And you have hard shoes on, you have long pants on, preferably chaps. You're going to have eye protection, hearing protection, and hopefully a full face shield if you're going to be because that stuff comes out of that off the end of that thing.
And if you don't have all those things, then consider not doing it, because I've known a lot of people who've had some major injuries due to chainsaws, and I've operated a chainsaw a lot in my life, and every time I use one, I always have to tell myself, this machine wants me dead. It wants to kill me.
Yes.
They bite, and they bite really, really hard. And there's some people who get bit so hard they don't get the opportunity to recover from it. So I'm just saying, beware of the chainsaw.
Yep. And we have I see Pamela Furr is watching the broadcast.
Good morning, Pam.
Yes, how are you? She has the Roadcaster board. So if you're not doing anything some Saturday morning, feel free to come down here to the nursery, Pamela.
We would love to have her come in and join us and be a guest on the hot seat.
Or behind the board. She has this same board.
Oh, absolutely. She knows all about it. We just
Love to
have
have
different
you.
things assigned to our buttons.
Okay.
Our buttons have probably different things, but she can figure it out.
Oh, gosh, yes. She's one of the best.
So, no, Pamela,
doing a
that'd
great
be
job,
fun.
by the way, during the week, Pamela, this week. So it was awesome. Yep, an old friend. I'm a Furby, by the way. If you don't follow Pamela on
She's an active internet user. She keeps a lot of stuff going out there, and she's quite an entertaining gal. I will have to say that.
I bet she could throw a basketball. She probably could throw the basketball or take the third option to dunk Corey Smith down in Petersburg this weekend, too. She probably would pony. She might throw $1 or $2 in there to dunk the yard boy.
Well, I tell you what, if I was going to be anywhere near there, I would certainly contribute some money towards. But you know, I can't.
You're not ambidextrous. You're not.
Yeah, I cannot throw left-handed.
If there were film and proof that there was a little girls softball team that would go out there in mass, that would take several shots at the yard boy, I might be tempted to match those donations myself too. But I need photographic evidence.
So you saying you're afraid he might lie to you that nobody showed up?
No, yard boy doesn't lie. No, he's an open book. But I would love to see about 5 in a row. If I could get the old Panthers back.
You just want to be able to relive the moments.
Yes.
As many times as you like. I got it.
Okay. Well, we'll have to have some video, and perhaps we'll feature that next Saturday morning here on the At Home Show.
615-499-6690. Now, I have a lot of people say, "Gosh, I started to call you last week, but I didn't."
Yeah.
And you still didn't. So, but you
We
can
still
pick up
have
the phone and call us now. Leave a message. We'll talk to you. We'll even answer your question, or we'll give an answer at least. I don't know if it'll answer it or not, but we'll give you an answer. And we'll help you figure out what it is that's going on landscape-wise around your house. We've been fortunate to continue to be getting some rains, and it hasn't been oppressively hot. So it's kept people interested in gardening, and we've continued to be busy throughout the month of June, and as the beginning of July, we're still more busy than we've ever been previously. And so a lot of people are still out planting. They're still very much engaged in that. And the beauty of container grown plants is that there is no season to when you have to plant.
Well,
there's no transplant shop.
Well, and hopefully, again, my biggest surprise is how well the above ground garden has done. Next year I will choose some different plants, and I will choose some different spacing on these, because when a tomatillo is supposed to get 3 feet apart, you put them together, you got one here, 18 and 32. You figure that's going to be close enough. No.
Now, how many tomatillos did you plant? You planted more than 2. Good, and that's a good number. And as
well,
we
they have shaded down on the
as
on
one
the
of
lower
our
part.
listeners discovered yesterday, actually a friend of the program. That
friend.
I don't want to call her
friend.
out by name, because she might feel like I'm calling her out, but she only planted 1 tomatillo, and that's a mistake, because you need to have 2.
Did they cross pollinate? Oh, okay.
So
well,
she's getting lots of flowers. She's not getting any fruit.
I am.
So.
But how do you know when a tomatillo is ready to harvest?
The tomatillo tells you.
What's it tell you?
It says, "Hey, I'm ready."
Okay. No, I go out there, but
no, it will. That husk will start to come back off of it, and you'll know it's really,
because it's a cool looking plant too.
Yeah,
It's
and-
almost
and
an
it's a-
ornamental.
it's a
think.
wonderful salsa plant. That and peppers and tomatoes. And
Well, I thought that I was going to have a salsa box,
Mhm.
and then I thought I was going to have a tomato box. So I put the tomatillos, one of the tomato plants, and some of the peppers in there. Well, the tomatillos have gotten so large, and I also planted cherry tomatoes,
right,
bush type.
they're
They're more like vines. I mean, the things
no, they are
amazing.
vines.
Okay.
Tomatoes are vines. They're
Okay.
not bushes. They're vines.
It's a bush. It said it was a bush, but I mean, in next week, we're going to be eating some yellow and red cherry tomatoes. I mean,
Well,
but it's amazing.
If
folks.
you happen to have some extra ones and want to bring them in, Josh, I know somebody that likes them a lot.
Oh, okay. Well, if they,
I'm just saying. I mean,
Okay.
no feeling pressure.
Well, the one thing that I've noticed is that because of the density of the way that these are planted, I'm missing some of the fruit, and by the time they turn yellow, or I haven't seen any
It's
red
already
one-
rotting on you.
Well, they've also popped a little. I'm
Right.
not getting any kind of a rot. It's just that
No,
they
well,
seem
that
to.
doesn't make them bad. You can still eat them.
Oh, I'll bring them to you.
Well, I'll eat them.
Okay, I'll eat them too. But I'm getting some shading on the lower tier of the plant, so I don't know if that's because usually peppers are about the only thing I've ever tried to grow, and because I don't have a lot of luck. But this year it's been amazing, and it's all due to, hey, David, what kind of earth mix did I buy for the above
Well,
ground?
I'm thinking that you use Proganics I, and I'm not
No, I
certain
used
about
the,
that.
Oh, I got it.
Oh.
I got the bulk delivery. Put it in the back of the thing that was going on. Did you? That was almost a segue. That was almost.
Well,
slick. If you'd have known it was coming, you'd have been ready. But that's
Yeah, well,
okay.
I was not ready, and I was working on it though. You were just about 30 seconds ahead of me.
Oh,
but
I was.
Let's talk for just a minute about Earth Mix
Happens
Garden
all the
products. And as Josh has just talked about, he used Proganics O in his garden.
Amazing.
And what Proganics O does, it gives you the best blend of inputs to have the best growing for outdoor gardening. This is not an indoor mix. This is Proganics O is the outdoor mix. Proganics I is the indoor mix that you would use on tropicals, that kind of thing. But Proganics O, it has our Viagra earthworm castings in it. It has expanded shale in it. It has supernatural compost in it. It has all the best things, including vermiculite and perlite. Bottom line is, it's a very viable, totally organic, sustainably produced mix that will give you the best results that you can possibly get out of your plants. And we're really big on providing soils that can really have plants that are getting the most growth. You talked about how your tomatillos have gotten way larger than you ever believed they could get, and that's part of the difficulty in gardening, is that you just can't visualize how this little plant's going to get monstrous, and they will. And so if you're using really great products and you're using really good plants, it's reasonable to expect to get good results out of it. So Josh is obviously experiencing that with Earth Mix Garden products, and you can too. It's available all over Middle Tennessee area.
Certainly is.
The best thing to do is go out to the website, earthmix.net, and then once you're there, you can click right here on the right-hand side. It says Find Earth Mix. And so you click there, and then it takes you to the map, and that map shows you all the locations. You can zoom in if you like to a location near.
What's in Chattanooga?
That's the Barn Nursery down in Chattanooga.
My
So
goodness,
if you
that's
just
a nice
hold on
place.
that, it'll tell you that right there.
Okay.
So anyway, check that out at earthmix.net. Remember, this success in gardening begins at the ground level when you use Earth Mix garden products.
Oh my goodness! Well, once again, we have the round mound in here, and he'll be in with us next Saturday morning as well, because Michael Stevenson is taking an extended assignment, a super secret assignment, to go out and survey the world.
Yeah, he's I don't know what his deal is. I mean, he's been he took off a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then he's taking off this week, and he's taking off next week.
Yeah.
And he's the junior member of
Yeah.
this. It's like he's getting all the time
How many
off.
days off you had this year?
Well, 2 days after surgery.
Yeah.
So both those days.
No, I mean actually Saturday mornings. How many Saturday mornings have you missed this year?
None.
No, you know.
You neither?
No, I don't think so.
Huh. Well, that doesn't seem quite right, does it?
No.
Well, the show must go on. So that's what this is all about, bringing you the best information we can possibly bring you, talking about landscaping, home improvement.
It's not been fantastic today, ladies
Hey,
and gentlemen.
you know,
production.
there are a
values
lot of difficulties in life. In case you haven't noticed that by now, if we learn nothing else in 2020, life can be difficult. So we're gonna get through this difficult time, and eventually,
flying snakes. By the way,
I've seen them on TV.
Flying snakes. There,
Yeah.
2020. Yeah.
I don't think that they're here in this part of the country.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Up in Portland?
No.
No.
You know, they kind of do that. They flatten out and kind of catch
Float?
some air. Yeah, they float downward, but they do float.
It's kind of over there in Hermitage, right? Yeah. Isn't that where certain redhead lives? In Hermitage, they jump out of the trees. Okay. She makes flags. I mean, she makes pallet flags. I think they've got them over there in that
Is
part
that
of town.
right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
I had not heard that.
You had not heard that?
Mm-mm.
Okay. They don't have wings. They just kind of jump out of the tree,
I
flatten
understand.
out.
Yeah, because they're still snakes after all. They're not like a specialized snake. They're just a snake, a tree snake.
What is that magical creature that they had that had the that? I'll have to get my my.
Is it magical or mythical, Josh?
Well, what's the difference?
Well, I would say there's quite a bit of difference. I mean, a magical creature is subject. You know, you can be subjectively say, well, that's magical. If it's mythical, it's just imaginary.
But
So
they can be both.
I'm
you
inclined
can
to-
be one or the other or both.
I'm inclined to believe that it's imaginary on your part, Josh. That's just my personal opinion. I think so.
No.
You
Hippogriff. No, it's not a hippogriff.
you believe it. That
That's
doesn't mean
that's
it's
the
true.
horse and the hawk head.
I have seen
Unicorns?
I have not seen a unicorn, not lately anyway.
Back in the 70s, it was.
There was a time when
Okay.
you know all things were possible, but that's long since removed. So I haven't happened upon unicorn
Sasquatch?
vision. No Sasquatches, and not even seen any footprints. Nessie, haven't seen Nessie. Nessie does not inhabit White's Creek, by the way. So I know that there's
That's
no
Nanny that lives in White's Creek.
Well,
right?
Nanny used to accompany us to White's Creek as a child, but
The
but
White's
no.
Creek monster's name is Nanny.
No. That was my grandmother's name.
Oh.
She was not a monster. She was anything but that. She was a sweet lady.
She'd probably get a switch after your little.
She never did.
Huh?
Matter of fact,
She didn't have to.
She wouldn't even tell Dad when we did something wrong.
Really?
She didn't want him to find out.
Well, thanks, Nanny. I know he misses you. I wish I'd have met you.
Yeah.
All right,
great lady.
folks. Music means that we have come to the end of the 4th of July edition
You know
of
what?
the At Home
It
program.
may be mercifully at this point.
Okay, well, we've had some fun. Hope you guys have too. Please go out and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go out there to the Facebook page, like it, share it, get everything ready to roll. we're going to be up there. We'll toss
I'm gonna-
something out on LinkedIn again.
I want to
next
keep
week.
doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's a good
Keep
thing
my
to do
arm
today.
up there above my heart.
Thanks to the staff behind the camera who doesn't want to come on camera at any point in time during the
Nora
show.
and Allegra, big A&A team. So thank you, ladies.
All righty, we'll see you next Saturday morning for the At Home Show with Josh, Cary, and David Bates.